Chapter 13. Forgiveness. God's order. These words from the Lord brought our Adam into a better state of mind again. He humbly went to the Lord and said, "Oh dear, Holy Father, your word has placed me in another light again, and in this light I realized that I have sinned flaming hot before you. Therefore I beg you, oh dear, Holy Father, do not regard this hopefully my last mistake before you and all of your creation too seriously, but forgive me, weak old man, this my last indiscretion." Here the Lord turned to Adam and said to him, thus also to all those who formerly agreed with Adam, "Listen, all of you, and especially you, my son Adam. I will now tell you something to my own apology in front of all of you, all my children, so that you, should you still forget my advice in future, that you should know that not I, but you yourselves are the foolish and blind creators of your judgments, and therefore also of your destruction and of your death. If you, as noted, do not walk the road which has been pre-marked by me, your most wise Creator and most loving Holy Father. And therefore hear me out. You and the whole endless creation has from eternity most necessarily been arranged by me in such a way that specifically you are the very final purpose, and thus the capstones of the whole visible and invisible world. Accordingly, everything, as a whole and in its parts, needs to most precisely and most inextricably correspond with you. But if this is undeniably the case, it follows by itself and reads like this. If man forms the end purpose of all creation, and thus connects to man in everything with the most intimate correspondence, he is necessarily placed above all creation like a master, from which state he must also have a retroactive influence on the whole of creation, just as the whole of creation necessarily must have a forward effect on him. Pay now very careful attention to this. All of creation in front of you has entirely no free will, and everything in it has been arranged for you as a necessary beneficial purpose. Thus everything is a complete must. I, as the great craftsman of all my creatures alone, knows how all processes are arranged in it, and how one links with the other, and therefore can give you the only most suitable means to behave in such a way that you can freely assert yourself on this highest level on which you are standing as the sublime final purpose of all of my creation. Abide to this by me, the Creator's prescribed order, and all creation preceding you will remain behind you in the most beautiful order. However, if you do not abide to this order, but build and create another autonomously, then I, as Creator, and your all-holy Father, am entirely guiltless if the whole preceding creation in its judged workings turns against you, grabs you, drags you into its everlasting indispensable judgment, and finally kill you. Must a stone not be heavy, so that it can remain a solid on and in the earth? Behold, this is the judgment of the matter of the stone. As long as you walk around on the stone according to the order, for as long you will be masters of the stone. But if you would roll a heavy stone on top of you, the stone will become your master and will give you its weight, its judgment, and therefore also its death. Just as shown by this relationship, it is with the whole visible and invisible creation. You alone can bless it according to my order, but also spoil it to your misfortune outside my order. Love for me is the essence of all my order. Therefore, always keep to this love alive, and you will never fall back into judgment. But if you forsake this love, you will open the floodgates of judgment, and it then will necessarily pounce upon you like the stone and will bury you. This, however, you should always remember and respect. Therefore know that I, the Father, judges no one. All of you, understand this. Amen.